midweek check-in, and we are updating yesterday's pool with sharper angles and a couple of key pivots based on matchup data, ownership movement, and credible news signals. Quarterback first, and this is our biggest change from yesterday's Justin Herbert anchor to Daniel Jones at 6,200 with a dash rank of 100 against the Steelers, who have one of the worst defenses overall. Jones is projecting for 19 with a steady 21 fantasy points per game and recent 24, 22, and 23. The projection is reliable because he has well over 3 starts in this role, and the leverage is solid at about 7.4% owned. We are leaning into momentum and context too, as Essentially Sports noted. Tom Brady's Fox Power Rankings just crowned the Colts #1, which lines up with the team level form we want to ride. Also, multiple reports from Essentially Sports have pushed Jones into the MVP conversation, which supports continued aggressive play calling and bankable volume. The move off Herbert here is ownership and salary reallocation to other premium spots while keeping ceiling intact. If you need a true punt at quarterback, Andy Dalton at 4,300 projects for about 1 against the Packers, who have a middle-of-the-pack defense overall. This is only viable if he is confirmed to start, and it is a pure game theory. Dart. Recent form is thin, with 4, 2, and 0. And as the Buffalo News recaps via national aggregates, he has been turnover-prone, including that A.J. Epinesa picked 6 against the Bills. This is only for large field tournaments, if you absolutely must save running back. And we are elevating DeAndre Swift from yesterday's flex to our core at 6,100 with a dash rank of 100 against the Bengals, who have one of the worst defenses overall. Swift projects for 15 and averages 17 per game with 15, 24, and 8 in his last 3. The field is lukewarm at about 4.7% owned, which we love for leverage. He remains a weekly flex for many per national blurbs, and he has finished RB23, or better every season per the aggregated fantasy coverage. So we trust the role and pass game involvement to spike versus a soft opponent rank. This change also frees cap for our premium WR and TE plays, while maintaining a path to slate, breaking upside. For a punt at running back, Isaac Guerendo at 4,000 faces the Giants, who have one of the worst defenses overall. He projects for 1 and has no offensive fantasy output yet, which makes him a GPP-only dart. The appeal is strictly price plus contingency value on a strong team, and the fact that last season's reports labeled him one of the pleasant surprises in San Francisco's pipeline. If inactive or buried, he's a fade, so check late news. Wide receiver stays the course, with Jamar Chase at 8,400, dash rank 100 against the Bears, who have one of the worst defenses overall. Projection is 20 with 23 per game, and recent 21, 41, and 25 ownership around 19%. We kept him from yesterday because nothing changed in the thesis. He still owns elite ceiling, and recent coverage has DFS millionaire Mike McClure, highlighting Chase among top DFS plays while he just matched a Jimmy Smith-level accomplishment. The small dip in field confidence after Cincinnati's Week 4 does not outweigh the matchup and volume. For value, we like Trey Tucker at 4,800 against the Jaguars, who have one of the worst defenses overall. He projects for 10 with 14 per game, and recent 8, 12, and 11 at about 3% owned. The Raiders shook up their wide receiver room this week, per multiple reports, which opens a runway for routes and a downfield role. We are buying the usage trend at low ownership. Tight end is a swap from yesterday's Tyler Warren to Tucker Kraft at 5,700 dash rank 100 against the Panthers, who have a middle of the pack. Defense overall, Kraft projects for 14 with 17 per game, and recent 36, 17, and 12 ownership around 12%. The why is simple. The role is surging and the red zone involvement is sticky. We also saw national updates earlier this season, confirming a positive trajectory after a knee scare, and he has responded with production. This is a ceiling bat at modest ownership in a spot that can separate lineups. If you need a minimum punt, Mo Ali Cox at 2,500 projects for one against the Steelers, who have one of the worst defenses overall, and he is virtually unowned around 0.1%. This is strictly for Colts, stacks to capture touchdown variants at the stone minimum with Daniel Jones, Steam. Flex Spot is a new addition, and we are rolling with Lad McConkey at 6,000, dash rank 100 against the Titans, who have one of the worst defenses overall. Projection is 15 with 14 per game, and recent 21, 16, and 26 ownership about 7%. The Chargers receiver room? Depth is a feature, not a bug, and Jim Harbaugh's public confidence in the Herbert-McConkey connection has been a drumbeat since the offseason. Per essentially, Sports McConkey's early season efficiency and red zone usage give us a clean mid-tier path to 20+ without extreme ownership. This replaces yesterday's rookie punt and complements our salary structure after upgrading Swift to RB. If you want a stone punt and flex Darius Davis at 3,000, faces the Titans, who have one of the worst defenses overall. He projects for one and has been primarily a return weapon with splash play ability, including that remembered 87-yard punt return as a rookie per essentially sports. This is a gadget-only tournament dart where one design touch can flip the slate. Defense is a pivot from yesterday's Rams to the Chargers at 3,800 against the Titans, who have the absolute worst defense overall. We are targeting low ownership around 4.4% and a 9-point projection. The matchup set is favorable for pressure and short fields, and the opponent rank indicator keeps us on the same heuristic. We used yesterday across positions. If you need leverage, the Titans defense at 2,300 projects for 5 against the Chargers, who have a middle of the pack. Defense overall ownership about 6.6%. That is a pure bring-back pivot in builds that fade. Los Angeles stacks. Quick recap of the changes from yesterday and why we moved from Herbert to Daniel Jones. To capture favorable opponent rank at lower ownership with strong team momentum, confirmed by Tom Brady's Fox Power Rankings, as reported by Essentially Sports. We elevated Swift to a core RB due to a softer opponent rank and better leverage. We kept Jamar Chase because the matchup and elite ceiling remain intact. With supportive signals from DFS Pro coverage, we pivoted to Tucker Kraft for a higher ceiling path at tight end. We added Lad McConkey in flex to access. Chargers pass game production at modest ownership, while keeping defense leverage flexible. That is the midweek pool and the rationale behind every tweak. We will update again if late news shifts, roles, or ownership. Good luck, everyone.